Welcome to Undivided. I'm your host, Adam Maxwell, and I'm so glad to be here with you today. As I've been looking forward to this for a long time, and I can't wait to drop new episodes weekly for us to uh, hang together. It's just something that I've really been working hard towards, and here we finally are. And with that said, the question really lies in everybody's life, including my own, is am I ready? Am I ready for this? Am I ready for change? Am I ready for this new addition to my life? Whether it's a new job or a new haircut or a new baby, a new career, going to college, getting out of your grandma's basement. I mean, it can be any of those things that, hold you up from continuing a forward path in your life. And undivided is a new venture for myself. And just like your new venture for your new future coming soon, um, it's not easy. You think that what's stopping me, what's keeping me from being able to start this podcast or start this new family or start this new career. And for me it was, well, I need to have this microphone. It's got to be one of these awesome microphones. And then it's, oh well, I don't need just a microphone. I'm going to, oh, see, right there. It decided that it was going to zoom in, and I didn't even know. Anyway, so it's get the new microphone, get the new camera, get the new tablet, um, get the new voice. Try to change the way you're bringing it all to it. Um, None of it's expected. This wasn't expected for me. I'm a successful carpenter, general contractor. I've got a business that, is was pushing, $750,000 in annual sales. Now that's not profit. Come on. But, I went from a handyman service to that. And that's just in the last 10 years of my life. I left that and now I'm working towards doing something new again, which is, it's scary. I don't know if this is going to work. I mean, it's up to you guys to let me know how I'm doing, I guess, and we'll figure it out. But I'm you're never ready. You're never truly ready for it. You just have to take that first step. And here I am. You know, um, Again, this podcast has felt like it's been kind of handed to me from God. I didn't know what I was going to do next. Just got injured. Had to have spine surgery. The career that I've been doing for the last 10 years is kind of out the window a little bit. I certainly can't do it at the level that I was doing before because my body's my temple, right? So I know that I might ramble a little here and there, but that's what this is all about. This is a relatively unedited, relatively unscripted. I just do have some bullet points here and there, but this is a podcast for you. Um, because this is something that I've always wanted to do, the help people, something that I've really enjoyed doing. And I know that I uploaded my trailer for Undivided months ago, and I said, "Oh, it's coming soon. It's coming soon." Well, this is soon for me. With the injury, I had to work my butt off to get to where I am today, sitting here in front of you guys. And I was looking for every reason, like I said, not to start. That was the new mic, the new computer, the new, mixer, the new headphones, the set. There's a lot of podcasts that just start with a guy holding the phone. I just don't feel comfortable with that, and I wanted to give myself a nice space, comfortable space, because if I'm comfortable, it's going to be the best way for me to help you. I was shooting for perfection, and we should all know that that's unattainable. Perfection isn't real. Um, it's a great idea, shoot for it, but that's what I was going for, perfection. And I just kept on finding these speed bumps and finding that other excuse to get started. Um, and I just had to stop. I had to think, okay, these people need me. These gentlemen are out there. They're struggling. They're having a hard time figuring out what's next. Does anybody give a shit about me? Am I just invisible? Um, I know that there's a lot of folks out there that are feeling that way right now. I've run into them. I've met them, at Best Buy, talking to them about my computer. I've run into them at the gas station, not wanting to be doing their job, not looking well, not taking care of themselves. And I have many reasons to be here today. And you're not the only one, but you're definitely right there on the top of the list. Um, but I just know that in order to become the master of your craft, you first have to look like a fool. And I know that this first episode is going to be all that and more. Um, but if I don't just start, then it's never going to happen. People can judge me and call me out for it, but bring it on. My skin is thick. I've been through hell and back a couple times. I can't wait to share all those stories with you, to let you know that it is possible to go from rock bottom to standing on top of that mountain and back down again and back up. Life isn't easy. If it was, then everybody'd be a millionaire, or billionaire these days. It seems there's more and more of those running around now. I just I know that I don't need to know everything when I start this thing out. I know that I don't need to know it all, but I just need to know that I am willing. I'm willing to be here with you. I'm willing to do the thing and the rest will follow. And that's my goal in this whole thing. And um I just wanted to let you know why I'm here, and what provoked me to take these steps and to do this. Obviously there's a ton of reasons. Uh you know, from as long as I can remember, everybody came to me with their problems. Uh, I know they call it an empath. Maybe it's the eyes. I'm not sure, but I've always wanted to help, and it's hard to help when you need help. You can say all the right things and have all the right advice, but people are watching. They see, sure, I can tell you what to do, but if I'm not doing it myself, then who the hell am I? And I've always loved to teach people. I've always loved to show them what I know. Um, I've as far as jobs are concerned and what I've done professionally and what I enjoy doing for fun, ranges. I was in the food and beverage industry when I was a kid. Even before that, I started mowing lawns, paid for my first car that way. I've always worked. Something that I knew I was good at is working, but the rest of it wasn't great. My personal life wasn't always very squeaky clean at all. But I mowed lawns when I was young. I was in the food and beverage industry for 14 years. I started as a dishwasher, worked my way all the way up, sous chef, executive, owned my own restaurant with a couple guys when I was 25 years old. Um, we took a failing restaurant and we made it lively and fun, and all of our friends that came out there just really made it work for us. Um, just thinking about those guys now, the two other owners that were a part of it, love those guys with all my heart. Not going to drop names yet these days. I don't know how comfortable they would be with that, but you know, uh, worked in the food and beverage industry. I always loved teaching. I always loved being the guy that showed you how to do it. Training was key for me, and striving towards perfection in my craft. Um, and I can say that I got pretty dang close. I just knew that the food and beverage industry had to end for me. Um, I decided to get married, and I knew that I needed to leave that industry to maintain that marriage. So I left that, and I became a carpenter. Worked for a company, and didn't even know what I was going to build. I thought I was building houses, and first job site I show up on, it's a barn. I was like, "Oh, good." Didn't know I was building barns. And yeah, I know you picture one of those big old barns that the Amish used to or do build or used to build. They're the ones back in the day, but no, they're new age agricultural barns that um, they're not quite as pretty, but it taught me what I needed to know. It helped me get into the next level of my life. My wife, there's obviously a ton of story to tell, but I left food and beverages for that, so that I had more understanding or reliable hours, and just kind of getting away from the restaurant scene. Um, and then my wife wanted to go back to college, and so I didn't really see many other options for the schedule that we were going to have. So I saw an opportunity, and I started my own business myself this time. um, Maxwell Construction Services, out of a car. I had a Ford Focus hatchback that my wife actually had to co-sign for me to even get. I think it was a 2000 2006 or 2005. Anyway, started a handyman service out of this car, and continued down that path and built my business up to at one point I was doing 750,000 ish dollars a year in sales. Never built any houses, just remodels and smaller projects and decks and things. But I had several great employees that I just really enjoyed teaching along the way and mentoring and trying to be there for them to shape their existence here as well. But I love working on small engines. I love motorcycles. I love getting out and adventuring. Part of a group also to the Adventuremen's Guild. Changed my life. It was pretty awesome. I'll tell you a little bit about that too. But um, biggest thing was my kids. Um, my first son saved my life, and my second son um, made my life so much better. Uh, I wasn't ready for the first one, wasn't exactly ready for the second one either, but you just got to hang on and take it in stride and work your ass off for it. Um, but the biggest contributor to my success these days, after going through everything that I went through, is my wife and my kids and my family. Um, we've been through a lot. My family has, my sister and brothers and my parents. I could sit here and point fingers at whomever I wanted to about why I didn't succeed and why things didn't go well for me. But what's that going to prove? Nothing. I can't blame the world. I can't blame anybody else but myself for where I am today. And seems to be that I'm in an okay place at this point. And raising my sons in this world now, that's a huge part of why I'm here. Um, I'm trying to understand what the heck they're going through with technology and the social media scene, trying to fit in and trying to get there. Um, and it's a lot different than what I've seen, but I'm that in between generation, right? That Zennial or whatever the heck it's called, where I lived as a child before computers and I've grown up with them as well. So I've seen both sides of the coin when it comes to that. So helping my kids through all this crap has really motivated me to get out there and try to help you find your way and find your path and take the right steps in the direction to finding purpose, getting out there and finding adventure, and last but not least, finding God in your life every single day. Because you can try to anchor yourself to whoever you want to. You can try to anchor yourself to your girlfriend or to your wife or to any loved one. And I may have mentioned it before, but those people are temporary, right? Someday everybody's going to be gone, and the one place you can anchor your heart, you can anchor yourself, is to God, because God is eternal, and that's something that can hold you in place without a question. Um, and moving on, I'm not an expert, right? Like, I'm not an expert on the Bible. Um, I don't think I need to be. I'm not an expert on psychology. I'm not an expert on all these things, but I am here and I am willing to do my part to help you in the right direction. Um, and let you know that you don't have to go through this struggle alone. There's other people out there. I look so forward to developing an amazing community. I look forward to having a group that can be there for each other, hold each other accountable. I look forward to my 4 week plan and my 12 week plans that I'm working on right now to help you strive towards greatness. Because sitting there doing nothing, that's that drift. So I don't want to get too much into the drift because we all know that drifting is the epitome of doing nothing. Um, and a lot of people want to drift into a utopia. So if you want to clarify that, you drifting, doing nothing, utopia, meaning nowhere. So you're drifting to nowhere and you have to do something about it. You know, um, my journey with God started when I was born. I just didn't know it. Nobody told me that. Um, I was born in 1984, so I'll let you do the math on how old I am. Um, some people might see me as a youngster, and others see me as an old man. But I like to say that right in between, perfect, perfect age. you know, um, right in the middle of it all. I'm not too old to not understand, but I also like to have younger mentors to keep me in the fold because if all you ever do is look up and you don't look down, or you only look down, you don't look up, then you don't know what's going on around you. So I like having younger mentors. I got younger people in my life that I talk to and try to understand what the hell's going on in their life and in this world and how they're seeing it. Um, I try to live, I just try to live my life to the absolute fullest by paying attention to everything that's going on around me. Sometimes it's a disaster. Sometimes I sit here like this and I'm like, too much going on, that ADHD mind, which I hate that term. ADHD can just shove it. Um, I think it's a superiority thing. I can think faster, right? But I think faster about 100 things all at one time, so it kind of screws me up sometimes. But, I just yeah, I've just been tested my entire life. Um, I've been put through trials that I didn't think I was going to get past. And the hardest part, especially if you don't have faith on your side of difficult moments in life, is, the difficult moment is the moment just before things get better. That difficult moment is that trial that you're going through, and you're right there, man. Like it's that you can taste it, right? You're just waiting for that first paycheck. You're waiting for that girl to call you. You're waiting for the phone call from the company that you just interviewed for. You're waiting for whatever that next thing is, or if you're just waiting, right? It's the hardest before the blessing comes. Whether it's God testing you or the devil testing you, that's up for interpretation. Is it the devil putting a roadblock in front of you before the greatness comes, or is it God putting a test in front of you before He allows the blessing to unfold? I'm not really sure, but I can tell you what: if you're trying and you're sitting there right now and you're not sure if that's a blessing or it's a curse, if it's hard, just stick in, man. Get it. You will find that blessing on the other side. Um, and people ask me like, why are you religious now? What changed it? What changed it for you? Um, what what changed it? Because I was an atheist or an agnostic, or I just didn't believe in God, right? Like, you want to, you have that, that urge, like, is this it? When I die, it just goes black, boop, out we go. Um, Big Bang Theory, all that junk. I believe that. But the funny thing is that belief, whether it's the Bible or whether it's, Big Bang Theory or whatever, I mean, it's some form of religion because you have to wrap your brain around it, right? And I found God the summer of 2021. Um, uh, and during COVID 2019, we moved to a new town, and didn't know too many people. We were blessed that we knew a couple folks. My wife had some friends here, and that really, I think, helped a lot. But at that moment in life, things were going good for me. I had my business rolling, things were feeling right, everything was awesome. COVID comes in, slams that door right in everybody's face, including my own and my wife's, and I was drinking harder and heavier than I ever had in my entire life. I was doing drugs that I hadn't done in years, hanging out with some of the wrong people. Don't tell anybody, but I was. Um, I had very little hope, very few cares, even with my family, right? Like, w- what's it worth living? And as a grown adult that's worked his ass off to get where he's gotten to, and everything gets shut down, and your business is almost shut down. I had a neighbor try to shut my business down right during COVID because I was running a business out of my home. And that's a whole nother story for another day. We'll revisit that one because I took everything I could not to try to hurt somebody over it all. But I was one of those unseen essential workers back then. I was a carpenter along with plumbers and electricians and HVAC guys and all the nurses and doctors and everybody who was seen, right? But we still had to work. People still needed their things fixed. Everybody was staying home, and um, I built so many decks that summer. It was unbelievable. Everybody was staying home and finding out they were going to fall through their deck that they never spent any time on with their family. I really thought that after COVID was over, things were going to get a little bit more tight knit, a little more family oriented, just because of all the time they got to spend with each other. But it seems that I was wrong. Um, I think that there's a draw for it. People are hungry for family and bringing that back together. But anyway, being an essential worker, and I was just in a bad place, man. And after COVID kind of broke, um, one day my plumber that worked with me, his name's Mike. Mike, love you, brother. Comes up to me. I consider him one of my best friends in the world at this point. Um, Comes up to me. He's like, "Hey, man, you want to ride a mini bike through the mountains in Colorado?" And I was like, yes, yes, I do. And so, um, I looked into it, and part of the Adventuremen's Guild, it's something they do. It's called the Great American Monkey 1000. They still do it to this day. I'm still part of that group. And, we rode this mini bike, man. We went out to Colorado the summer of 21, and we put these little mini bikes. They're Honda CT70 replicas from China. We got them all ready to go, and we rode those babies through the mountains. 7 days, 1,000 kilometers, roughly 700 and change for mileage. Um, I didn't know it at the time, but Mike asking me that, I didn't know it was going to change my life, which isn't really that surprising that it did change my life, because at that time I was searching for something just like you're searching for something right now. Um, I didn't have God. I had my family, but my life was upside down. I wasn't being the best husband. I wasn't being the best father or role model. And I was screaming for something. And on day 4, I believe it was, some of the other guys had some issues with their bikes, and we were in Lake City, Colorado. and they had to go back around, and we had a gentleman that was with us that had a heck of a time with the ride. He was a little bit older and he was having trouble breathing, and so they took a little bit of an easier route that day. But Mike and I, we decided to forge ahead. It was me and him. We went from Lake City, Colorado to Silverton, and we're actually riding to go see this sculpture. Um, his mother Mary standing there. It was a sculpture put there years and years ago. I mean, these folks that trudge through these mountains with horses and carriages, and you find these small towns. I mean, Silverton, when we got there, still had dirt roads, and so anyway, we're on our way there, and I see a waterfall, and I'm like, Mike, let's check that out. So we go climbing up there, and we climb and climb and climb, and we get to a point, and don't like picture rock climbing. Okay. I'm not a rock climber. Mike's not a rock climber, but we hurled ourselves over these logs and got all the way up there, and I'll share a picture of the pool. I think I have it, and I'll just edit it in there, but found this pool of water. And I have my best friend watching. I fall into that water and splash. And the next breath that I took was the beginning of my new life. Um, I'd like to say that I was baptized, but as far as rules are concerned, um, that's not the right way. But they can disagree all they want to, and I plan to get baptized in the church. But that day, I was baptized by the Lord. He was there with me. I felt it. Um, and it's been about 5 years since that day happened, and it's been a slow journey, slow walk. Um, but I've been drawn closer and closer to God every single day from that point forward. And there's been so many trials that have been set in my way to tell me no, whether it's been pornography, drugs, alcohol, marijuana, which is a drug, but not like some of them. Um, and I think that's why we're all out there trying to find these answers. I don't want to run out of time for you guys here today. Um, Basically, all I'm trying to say is that the reason I'm here is, and I'm trying to answer this why I'm here thing, and that's for you, my fellow man, my future friend, my future adventurer. Um, because when I needed somebody like me, I didn't have it, and I hope to be that person for you. And we're all running around here with a ton of division. There's enough hate and enough fighting for everybody, and just seems like we're all fighting for nothing. And I hope that we can get ourselves in the right place that we need to be. I think it's time to fight for each other, find the lost, bring them in closer, save them from their sin, equip them for their lives, and become undivided. And that's what the premise is here. Because, like I said, next week I'm going to be talking about the slow drift to utopia, something that people don't really think about, but I want you to come join me so we can do this thing together. Don't give up on me. I won't give up on you. I'm your host, Adam Maxwell, host of The Undivided, trying to find hope through faith, discipline, and adventure. Come see me every week with a new episode. And don't forget to like and subscribe to my podcast. And feel free to make comments, give me some ideas, tell me your stories, and I will share that with the world. I love you all. Can't wait to spend the rest of my life with you. Peace.